A letter of application may be the most underrated and underappreciated part of the hiring process. We hear a lot about resumes, oh, you have a good resume, oh, you have a good portfolio and all of that. And that is important, but most jobs want a letter of application first before you even get to the resume part of the process. In fact, sometimes they won't even accept a resume until they've reviewed your letter of application. So it's very important to have the right information in your letter of application. For this assignment, for your assignment, you will refer to the sample that I've provided, and you want to make your sample look as close structure-wise to the sample that I've given you. Obviously, you'll put your own information in there, but there are certain things that are, I guess, consistent with all quality letter of applications. One, please remember this. A good letter of application never exceeds one typed page. Okay? I've seen that so many times. People will write a novel with their letter of application, and the reader just gets tired of reading it. So for your letter of application, make sure it's just one typed page. Basically 4 single-spaced paragraphs in this order. First paragraph, it's going to be relating specifically to the job you're seeking. Now, if you're seeking a lot of jobs, you want your letter of application to reflect something personal to that job. You don't want it to come off as you're just sending the same letter out to anybody who'll listen. So make sure that first paragraph you mention the company or the business, the place that you're applying, and the specific job you're applying for so that they know exactly what you're talking about. That's the first paragraph. The second paragraph, it needs to be relating to your college education that you received and any and all degrees that you possess. That's very important because some jobs, if you don't have a certain degree, you're not going to be eligible anyway. So you need to make sure they know that up front. The third paragraph is your work experience. Now, if you're just coming out of college and you don't have a lot of good work experience within the field, try to pick anything close to it that you can use. If you did some internships, even work you did where you didn't get paid for it, but it was experience that you had, that will help. If you don't have that, pick other jobs that you've had that show that you've had quality on the job experience. And then, of course, your fourth paragraph is your conclusion and your contact information. It's very important to include all of your contact information in the various modes, so to speak. You need to have a return address. Some people like to mail information to you. If you have a fax machine, put that number on there. You definitely need an email and a phone number because everybody's expecting you to have an email and phone number. Occasionally students will say, well, I don't use email, I just use my cell phone. Well, but some businesses use email, and so you need to have an email address just for this reason. And another thing, I've noticed this with some students, some of us have these funny email addresses or these very casual email addresses like dancequeen93@gmail or booboo@yahoo. These little funny email addresses. Don't use one of those when you're applying for a formal job because it may work against you. Just get a standard, normal sounding email and use that for your professional correspondence. If you have a home phone and a cell phone, use it. If you have a home phone, work phone, and cell phone, give them as many opportunities as you can to be able to get in touch with you because that's a really, really important part of this process. And after you send them a letter, give it a week or two and then call and follow up because that's an important part too. Don't just expect them to contact you. Follow up and make sure that they did receive your letter.